I didn't want this book to be all doom and gloom. I wanted it to have shining moments that people would be able to enjoy as well.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
And if you were just
Logan
trying to deter
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring a powerful new book. It is called The System, and it is written by a terrific author. His name is Marsden. This thought-provoking story follows Ross Martin's life from New South Wales to the challenges of adulthood, where love, loss, and resistance collide. It is a mix of philosophy, romance, and social realism. The System examines what it means to stay human in a world ruled by invisible powers. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Rod, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you.
Such a pleasure to have you on the show. This is such a wonderful, compelling, and creative book. How much of Ross Martin is you?
Well, I must admit a lot of it is me, especially the early years of Ross Martin's life. Being born left-handed, for example. I'm left-handed, and when in kindergarten, that was that was a real problem because I had a teacher that was trying to force me to write with my right hand, and
Amazing.
she had a steel ruler she'd hit my left hand with to try and prevent me from writing with my left hand. I've been told that doesn't happen in schools anymore, but it certainly happened in the 1960s.
Exactly. Yeah, schools were a little rougher in the 1960s. The teachers weren't young and pretty necessarily. They were tough. And I had them, you had them, and they did do things like that, no doubt. And you were apparently young looking for your grade?
Yes, yes, I was. And that became a problem for a few years there. I mean, I had to show ID if I wanted to get a beer, for example, in a pub, which
Wow.
annoyed the hell out of me because you feel like you're making a living, you're working for a living, and you think to yourself, I've got as much right as anybody else when you're 25 to walk into a pub and order a beer, but no, got to show ID.
Funny.
But
Well,
that
they
was
don't ask
life.
for ID anymore, right?
I think they probably still do.
No,
Um,
I was going to say from you or from me, unfortunately. Now we look our ages, unfortunately, right?
well, we do. Yeah, now I can walk into any pub and get a beer. I mean, I, I'm in my 60s, so
I know. I'm just joking.
they can't they can't
It'd be
say I'm
nice to
too
think we were
young.
too young to drink. That would be great, right? Yeah.
Well, I suppose the system is a coming of age story as much as anything else, and the struggle to come of age as well.
Exactly. What inspired you to write the story?
Well, I felt that it was about time I wrote a story about basically about myself and about uh, growing up in Australia and the also the influences from overseas like American movies and TV shows. Uh, I actually went to America when I was young in my teens, and it was funny. We were watching Streets of San Francisco before I went, right? And I was in San Francisco and I was looking and I thought to myself, this is exactly the way it is in that TV show, you know,
Yeah.
all these ups and downs, you know.
Yeah, a lot of those big hills and the cable cars and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's a
Oh
beautiful
yeah,
city. One of the most
it
unique
is.
cities in America, that's for sure. The
It is.
idea of a controlling unseen system is very, very intriguing about this book. Do you feel that in many ways that's not sci-fi, that in our society today there's some kind of unseen controlling system as well?
I think there's a strong possibility of that.
Yeah.
That there is a sort of underlying force that's part of civilization. I'd say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Intriguing in the book also is Ross's passion for wildlife photography. Talk to us a
Oh yeah.
little bit about that.
Oh yeah. I've got that. I think I mentioned to you before we started this interview that that it's spring in New South Wales, Australia at the moment, and that's probably the most wonderful time of the year because there's new life everywhere. I've been recently to Wollongong Botanic Garden. I think I mentioned Wollongong Botanic Garden in the book. But this time of year, if you're into botany, there's flowering plants everywhere. But I'm more interested in wildlife, and you've got all sorts of birds nesting at the moment. You got coots nesting in the pond there at the Botanic Garden, and we got the woman, the female, setting up shop, so to speak, female coot setting up shop, arranging things, and you got the male going out and foraging and coming back with bits of twigs and whatnot to um, to help create the nest. So you've got a real team effort happening there, and you're there watching it happening, which is great. It's a great time of year.
Completely
Uh,
amazing, no doubt. Let's talk about the love story in the book. It feels deeply personal. Was that inspired by your own experiences as well?
well, I won't say my own experiences, but I just felt that there needed to be a love story in the book. It can't be all doom and gloom. It can't be all, this guy goes through hard times and then dies. I don't think, for a start, American readers particularly like that sort of thing. So, given this guy 2 years of love and affection and being with a woman, this wonderful woman, I thought that was good. That was a good thing to put into the book.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, it was an intriguing part of the story, no doubt. And like I said, felt very, very real and humanized it all. Is there a message or what do you hope readers take away from this book when they're done reading it?
well, I've always been anchored by history, um, by what's happened in the past and what's happening in the present, what will possibly happen in the future. Um, and I think readers could get some sort of idea of what life was like growing up in Australia, and what well what life was like for somebody like me, I suppose.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so that's what people could get, but like I said, some of the elements I'd say would be more universal than that. I'm sure that my experiences and Ross Martin's experiences would mirror the experiences of Americans growing up as well.
Or I
Like,
definitely think there are commonalities there, no doubt. Have you envisioned the system as a film or a TV series?
um, well, I think it would be good as a miniseries, perhaps. Um, as a movie, you'd have to work out exactly what you were going to film. Just like with those Harry Potter movies. I mean, not every chapter in a Harry Potter movie makes it to screen, because it's not possible to um, to do
Make a
that.
book this thick and turn it into a screenplay this thick. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a movie runs for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. Once you get over 2 hours, you start losing your audience.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you got restrictions when it comes to an actual movie. Miniseries, uh, it's a bit broader, and you can take in a lot more uh, information.
Yeah.
Um, so, but
I think it would be
it
great as
works.
a mini series, without a doubt. It's got great characters, great settings, a great premise, the whole idea of the system. And I do think there are definitely parallels between the system that you write about in your book and whatever the controlling forces are around us. That's for sure. Because there certainly seems to be people pulling the strings from time to time. That's for sure. Talk to us a little bit about finding love later in life.
Well, I've written about this before. I I've actually written plays about people finding love at the last, basically the last moment of life, but still it being still a joyous thing, I think, because just to find it any time in your life is brilliant, really. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned also that there's a freedom of being alone. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think that if you're sharing a house with somebody who who doesn't pay bills on time, and you pay them on time, and they pay you back, and then there's a cycle of them not being able to pay in time, and then eventually them paying you back. You can't save uh, for trips you want to go on. It's you know, and sometimes being alone is a lot better than being with company that's just doesn't suit you. I mean, I had this really bad experience with sharing a a place with this woman and her kid. Um, I had this computer that would make this startup sound, and that that basically triggered this kid to come knocking on my door to have this chat with me, which would last for about maybe an hour. And I'd be so dazed by it, I wouldn't get back to my computer to do any work.
Right.
Um, so it just was a bad setup, and being alone. After that was so brilliant. I could just get on with stuff. Um, it doesn't matter what sort of startup sound the computer made because there was nobody around to bother me. You know?
Exactly. 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 Talk to us about, feared diseases like cancer. They can be, the final blow, but it doesn't have to erase 2 years of happiness, right?
Well, that's true. But you know, those 2 years in the story, I think were kind of necessary. I didn't want this book to be all doom and gloom. I wanted it to have shining moments that people would be able to enjoy as well. And I I decided to plant my main characters um, near this beach where he would go out with his camera and take photos, and uh, and that being also part of the glory of being with this woman. And in some ways, they were opposites. Like she liked to listen to music when she cleaned the house, right? But he liked to have the TV set on when he was cleaning. Um,
Yeah.
mainly because, um, well, just like me, I I got used to the idea of say a TV show being in the background.
Hmm.
I may not be watching it, but I'm listening to these characters talking and listening to this music, and it all sort of comes together. And I only really enjoy music um, when um, when I'm on a car trip, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'm listening to music, I'm looking out the window, and
Yep.
that's great. But at home, I'm sort of listening to maybe a TV show in the
Right.
background while I'm doing other things. So, but that's
Exactly.
me. But I
Exactly.
decided,
Different strokes for different folks. That's what you like.
yeah,
And yeah, very,
I
very
decided
intriguing.
this woman should be different. She should be into jazz, and she likes to listen to it while she's doing stuff around the house. And I thought that would be a good opposite to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, it's a very intriguing concept and really brought the characters to life. This is a terrific story, folks. It's a story of courage, love, and rebellion. The name of the book, The System, it invites us to question the invisible forces that are shaping our lives and whether freedom truly lies within or beyond them. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Rod.
Okay. Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, it was great having you on the show. I appreciate the great work you've done on this book and on your interview today. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.